This business with the missing kids. Do I need to be concerned?
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. What I'm looking at today is the teaser trailer for Welcome to Derry, which is a prequel to the It movies, directed by Andy Muschietti. And there's one potential problem I see with this series. And I'm not saying it will do this, but it's something that deserves to be put out there. Namely, the series has to understand that it's not about Pennywise. Pennywise was the antagonist of the It movies, but once again, the story is not his. The story is that of the people who are menaced by Pennywise. Now, the thing is, if the balance of the series shifts and it becomes more a story about Pennywise terrorizing whomever, that's a problem. And I think that's a very real and dangerous possibility, because what is the most distinctive thing about the It movies? Pennywise the clown. It is the center of which all things revolve around. But it's not really an interesting character in and of itself. If you've seen both of the movies, you probably picked up on that. It's his response to the people he's terrorizing that's interesting. Pennywise in and of himself is not terribly interesting. For comparison's sake, let's look at Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies. Now, he is interesting, and the movies are about art. Other people enter into his vortex of insanity, if you will. I would argue that the movies are about him just as much as they are about the other characters. Now, it must be said, there's not a lot to Art the Clown. Art the Clown is fairly murderous and vicious, but that's his thing. And he is not a very deep character by any stretch, though that might change with the third movie, which I haven't seen, though I have seen the first two. And so his violence is so spectacular that you can center a movie around it. Because, let's be honest, I don't remember any of the protagonists from the Terrifier movies. Well, I remember there's a woman in one of them, maybe two of them. I don't remember them because they're not memorable, and they're not memorable by design, I think. A similar logic applies to Pennywise, except I would argue that Pennywise is not that interesting. And another reason that Pennywise is not that interesting is that he is mostly a creation of computer animation, which is to say, not that he's computer animated every time he turns up, because he's not, but he's at his most interesting when a computer is doing all the heavy lifting, when he is twisting and contorting his body into, let's say, a refrigerator half his size, or when something else surreal happens in those movies. It's all computer generated, and as a result, they are not scary. Once again, contrasted with Art the Clown, who is very much a practical creation. All his gore effects are practical, making them, by default, virtually, more interesting. In any case, let's look at the official teaser trailer for Welcome to Derry. That's no shot.
You poor thing. Get in before you catch your death of cold.
Now you just tell us where home is. We'll get you back to your parents safe and sound, okay?
Anywhere but Derry.
Things that happened in the past.
My family and I just moved to town.
Oh!
Hey, baby.
Happened in your mind.
Today was 4 months, and they never even found a body. That means murder.
This business with the missing kids. Do I need to be concerned?
Never a bad idea to keep the people you love
close.
No adult's ever gonna believe what we saw. I wouldn't.
There's a history of stuff like this happening in Derry.
You kids keep your noses out of police business.
I heard voices. In the pipes.
Have you ever heard of something like that? There's something bad here in Derry.
Well, that was the official teaser trailer for Welcome to Derry. And I wonder if people understand that Pennywise seemingly went relatively unchallenged before the movies. Which is to say, apparently, he won. And all the people you saw him focused on will lose. That's not to say that they'll die. They could leave Derry or something to that effect. But the point being, as far as I'm aware, it is triumphant. And it's only stopped in the latter movies. So you kind of know where this is going. Though what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer's Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like, follow, or buy me a coffee. Peace.